Well, hello, and thank you for joining us for another episode of George Mueller. Yeah, we're going to be in Chapter 6 today, and listening to, of 27 chapters, we're going to be listening from Moody Bible Institute, and without further ado, here we go. Chapter 6.
Friends everywhere with Chapter 6 of To Ask No Man, the story of George Mueller's incredible adventure with God. This is another in the series Stories of Great Christians, brought to you by the Moody Bible Institute of Chicago. How many times George Mueller said to me when we preached together in Bristol, "Henry Craik, you don't understand me." But I did, and rather more than most people. I had to, or I jolly well couldn't have worked with him. That curious decision of his not to let his father pay any more of his tuition at the university, for instance, was not as easy as you might think. George was quite used to a pocket full of coins. At one time, he thought nothing of dipping his hand in the till to keep himself supplied. Furthermore, it was a rare young gentleman who worked his way through university in the 1820s. Yet, in one way, cutting himself off was logical. Quite. For he'd always been a young rebel, don't you know, running away from any authority, and especially from his father's. But what I don't understand, and I suspect I never did, was the abandon with which George threw himself on the provision of the Almighty. Who could ever understand this about George? So there he was, back at Halle, with 2 more university years to go. And no money, not a franc in his desk drawer.
God, you know exactly what I've done and what this means. You know what I need. Money to pay rent, buy food, get books, settle up for the coming summer. I'm depending on you to see that I get it. In your own time, in your own way.
Hark, gentlemen, strange that you should have come at this very moment. I was just about to put on my cap to do an errand, but you have come to just the right person. Such a coincidence that you've got me in. I do know somebody who can tutor you in the mother tongue. Now, you wait now, I find my cup and I take you to him.
You know the choice I made between my father's money and your bounty. God, honor that decision. Amen.
Come in. My apologies for interrupting your studies, my boy, but I bring a guest.
A guest? Yeah, I'll move these books. Sit down. My room isn't exactly the best for any paying strangers.
An American guest. Dr. Charles Hodge and Mueller. Mr. Mueller.
Dr. Hodge.
Now, George, we get right down to business. Dr. Hodge needs to learn the German. I told him I know a bright young student who speaks both German and English, in fact. I tell him you will be his tutor.
My English is not like Coleridge or Wordsworth, but
it is mine. And I don't want to write poetry. We'll make out.
I think you'll find it adequate. Yeah, I'll teach you. But time is a problem.
You name it, I'll be there.
Well, my class schedule is full, and to tell the truth, this term I have to work too.
But George, he doesn't understand. George, my boy, this is a job. Strictly business, Mr. Mueller. Strictly business.
Oh.
Standard tutoring rates and then some. In fact, double, because we're in a hurry. We'd like 8 hours a week.
For the whole term?
Yes.
8 hours? Why, that would be a... Yeah, Hodge, I might as well be frank. That pays almost a quarter of the whole term's bill.
Great. The
pay the rest.
The others?
Dr. Tolak, is my English that bad?
George, Dr. Hutch means that he is not alone. 3 of his American friends want tutoring also.
We'll study together and pay you separately. Fair enough?
Fair. It is true then. Americans have always money.
Oh, look, this time you're wrong.
Huh? Who is that?
It is God. It's God who has the money.
So Mueller stayed on at the university, and the Americans' money covered all his bills. But now he had another problem to solve. Where would he serve God? What mission field needed him, or for that matter wanted him? And one night over beef stew at Tolak's. Now, George, I say London needs you. Press the salt. Here you are, Doctor, and the pepper. Here.
Needs me? What would London do with me? I'm German, through and through.
What do you know about London, George?
Dickens, that's about all. Grimy little orphans in the factories, little streets, a lot of mud and poverty. The truggy.
Dickens does not say it all. There is Westminster Abbey, and Piccadilly Square, and Canterbury Cathedral, and much more, it really says.
Then someday, maybe I see it. Now, Tula, do you joke with me? You know I'm still disappointed because the Russian war with the Turks canceled my appointment to the Bucharest field. I'm waiting for any sign of God's leading, but I know also that missionaries don't go from Germany to London.
Can you be sure, my boy?
You tease, Tula.
Many kind of Londoners there are. You hear of the London Society, eh?
London Society?
Its full title is the London Society for Promoting Christianity Among the Jews.
Yeah, I've heard.
Well, there are Jewish Londoners, just like there are Jewish Prussians and Jewish Poles and Jewish Americans. They all need Christ.
On this London Society?
The both missionaries who minister only with London Jews.
You know, I talked with Herman Ball a second time.
You forget it was in my house.
Tolak, I tell you the truth. When he told me his health might force him to leave Poland and his mission to the Jews, I went home and I could not sleep.
No, but you did not leave.
Naturally, I did not. I was signed up for Bucharest. I was accepted. I thought it would be wrong to change my mind.
But you went ahead and started to study Hebrew by yourself.
You knew that?
You should be more careful with the books you carry onto your arm.
Tolak, is this the way the Lord speaks?
So you will tell me, George.
But this London Society, how do I know they want me?
Because I know an agent. Who? Tolak. Right here.
You?
Yes, I am an agent with you missionaries. Now, what will it be, George?
Well, I don't know. It is true, ever since I talked with Herman Ball this time, great fire has burned. I see the Jews dying without the Messiah. Tolak, I love them.
Then I can submit your name?
Poland, England, what difference? But does God speak so suddenly?
Ah, my son, it has not been sudden.
What do you mean?
It is not sudden. Not at all. Herman Ball, missionary to the Jews, teaches you how to give up the girl you love. So you go to work to study the Hebrew because you love it? And always you have the English and know it well enough to teach.
Yeah.
But at the last minute, the war comes to keep you from Bucharest. Why, my son, do you not see? It is not sudden business at all. George! Do not make an old man run so fast, George.
Tolak.
I saw Beta near the library. He told me you were headed this way. Well, quite a bundle you carry.
Little girls' blouses.
Ah, man, there's so many talents.
Delivering them for Fraulein Johansson.
Ah, so you feel at home at Frank's orphanage now, huh, George?
I try to make myself useful. I appreciate the free lodging. Again, God provides. I don't have much in common with 100 orphan girls. But this man Frank, who started the place, he was remarkable.
Yeah, all things I have wished he had not died so long ago.
What a Christian he was. They tell me he built that whole orphanage on prayer. No money in the bank. No wealthy relatives. Just pray.
Well, that is how George Mueller gets to the university. 9?
It is, isn't it?
want to see me, Tola? Oh, I almost forget. I heard from London. Right? Oh, there's nothing really to tell. I have waited 3 months. What did they say? They are considering your name. They sent me a packet of papers. What? Questions you have to answer about this. Questions? You told them about me. Ah, they want details. What kind of men are they? Don't they take the word of a man who says God has called him? Isn't that enough? They are dedicated men, my boy, and most cautious. Here, put the questions under your arm, George. I don't see why. 3 months we wait. Now questions. Do not lose the papers, George. Answer them as soon as you can. Maybe. Answer them carefully. In prayer. And then mail them off promptly. Promptly. Presently, they know something. Wait. 7 months I wait for this answer. And look what comes from London. George, listen, yes. Tola wrote the 1st of December. Today is June. All this time I study and learn, and then this letter. But this said yes. With strings attached. You are accepted on probation. After all, George, they don't know you. Pollock knows me. He vouched for me. Accept you on probation for 6 months. Know what that means? You shouted it at me a dozen times. 6 more months of study. Why do I need to study? I'm a university graduate with 2 years on the Hebrew language. Specialized technique, George. That's it. I tell you what it is. These directors, they're dictators. But Pollock knows men that lay down rules without humanity. Men that bully with their authority. Men like my father. George. I won't stand for it, Peter. For 17 years I've been studying. I want to start work now. God wants me to. I won't have men stand in my way. What can you do? I can say no. I don't have to go to England. God wants me to waste 6 months of his good time. 9, Peter. 9, 9, 9. Now, George. Suppose you sit down. Let's talk this thing out. Then let's go to St. Paul. Then why can't you go for a long walk by yourself? And play about it. London Society for Promoting Christianity Among Jews. Sirs, I have your letter of the early part of June. I herewith inform you that I most graciously accept my appointment to your society, although I do not see reasons for the 6-month probation period. I defer to your decision. As soon as I get my passport, I will leave for England. Sincerely,
Next, step along. What do you want?
like to apply for a passport, sir.
Name?
George Mueller,
Age?
23,
Address?
Harlem.
Papers?
What?
Hurry it up. Let me see your papers.
Papers? What papers?
You're a citizen.
Naturally.
Over 21?
Yeah.
You got military papers?
9. I am a student at the Divinity School at the University of Harlem.
Move along. Next.
Wait a minute!
Well?
I don't understand. I am a divinity student. I have no military papers.
I know. You never been in the army.
That's right.
Well, you can't get away with it.
What is wrong?
I don't care about no divinity school. Unless you served your time with the army, fella, you can't get out of Germany. No, sir, not for anything. Where do they keep these fellows? Do you think they know something? Next. Move along. Name?
And so we conclude Chapter 6 of To Ask No Man, the story of George Mueller's incredible adventure with God. This is another in the series Stories of Great Christians, which come to you transcribed from the Moody Bible Institute of Chicago.
And so we can see that everything doesn't always work out to our way or the way we see it, but God still works miracles to make things happen. Well, tune in next week so we can hear what happens in chapter 7 and 8. See how George's travels and endeavors go. And as a young man of 23, I'm sure he has a few things to still learn. Well, till then, Lord keeping me around, Lord keeping you around, and Lord willing and tarrying, I'll look forward to seeing you next week. In the meantime, like George Mueller, you should be praying to God for whatever you need. He is provident, as well as you should be willing to serve the Lord in any way He asks you. Until then, make sure you're in church this weekend. Have a good day, and God bless.